Hi there, this is Andrew. It's a lovely day. Thought I'd sit with you outside and talk about first aid. Who am I and why should you listen to me about first aid? I work very closely with first responders, EMS, firemen, paramedics, physicians, and it's just something that I encounter frequently in terms of personal injury and the type of things that can happen to a person. I take it very seriously. I think about what could happen when I'm out or my friends are out doing the hobby of our choice, whether it be hiking or hunting or fishing. For those reasons, I always have a plan, or I've thought about a plan of what to do if in the instance I or someone else gets hurt. I think that if you do not have something like this, it does not have to be one of these types of, this is basically a field bag. It's kind of a breakaway style bag where you can have it clipped onto something, and if you just gotta take it off real quick and run and gun and use it, you can do that. And if you want something like this, I'll leave a link. Otherwise, quite honestly, just a little toiletry bag that you can get online or at your local big box store. Anything that you can just put some small supplies in will work perfectly fine. I just happen to like this, and I'll go over the reasons why in a minute. Why is it important to have a first aid bag? Let's talk about my field bag. Again, this is a breakaway bag. I just usually leave it on my raft frame, or if I'm out hiking or something, I have it in my bag, and then in which case I can just pull it out and use it. The reason I use this field bag is when you open it, and if you have everything set up the right way, it should just fall out and you have everything prepared so that you can get to it quickly and efficiently. We will go from bottom to top what my field bag has inside of it. Bottom is very simple. I just have some gauze and I have some medical tape. I've used it in terms of like if I got a cut that a Band-Aid won't fix, or you just need to tape something. I've used this as just tape in general when I don't want to have to use duct tape, because this is designed to be put onto skin and then taken off without basically leaving abrasive on it, so it's really nice in that regard. Gauze and tape, it's a staple. Laugh at me all you want, but if you've ever spent a full day on the water, anti-diarrheal, you know what I'm talking about. This stuff is worth its weight in gold. I always have this on me. And then I just have a little reusable Advil tube. My wife, I think, gets most of our ibuprofen or Advil or Motrin from Costco, and we just refill it in this tube, and this works great. I have some gloves here. Mainly this is to protect me from getting any sort of like blood or contaminants on me, but also it provides benefit in that if I have to do some sort of triage or care to you, you can know that I have some sort of gloves preventing me from introducing any sort of contaminants into your body. And then also sometimes I just need gloves for fishing, and I steal them from this med bag. We'll go over my tourniquet in a minute. I have some waterproof Band-Aids. Enough said. If you've been on the water or done your activity of choice, I'm sure you've seen the need and understand why Band-Aids are important to have. Fabric scissors. Why fabric scissors, and why do you need them? Using a knife or any other sort of improvised item is not going to have nearly the same efficacy as having fabric scissors. These are specifically designed so that you can put them over clothing, waders, whatever, and you will quickly cut them off. Why do you need that? Well, if you get in a situation, say that you were fishing in waders and you injured the lower part of your leg, you have to get through your wading boots, you have to get through your waders, and then the clothing underneath. This will, rather than have minutes to have to take all those things off, will cut right through them. I don't care if you have the top end Sims G5Z Super Deluxe Edition waders, they're getting cut off because your life is in the hands of minutes, and I do not want to spend that time taking your clothing off. It's getting cut off. So fabric scissors, incredibly important. Biohazard bag, I'm just not going to leave all the bloody mess on the riverbank. I think it's incredibly discourteous. I always pack out what I pack in, and you should always have something that you can just carry out some waste in. I have some sterile alcohol pads. It's good for if you need to treat someone's body, an injury site, or even if you have to do some field repair. I always carry some of these as well in my repair kit, so if I have to do any sort of on-the-water patching of my raft, of my waders, or anything else, these are great in that you can just clean the material out real quickly let it air dry, and then apply whatever sort of patch you need to apply. And then just tucked away in here, I have a little headlamp. I keep the batteries out of it so that the batteries don't get drained. This is just a part of a 2-pack that I got off Amazon. Just honestly a cheap headlamp, something LED that's gonna be able to function in low light conditions, really. So I always have several of these in different compartments of my bags that I carry so that I'm always prepared in case I get trapped in darkness and I need to do something important like first aid in dark. What are tourniquets and why did I save it for last, and why am I putting so much weight onto it? So a tourniquet is an incredibly simple item. It is essentially just a strap, Velcro strap that you put around an arm or leg, and it cuts off the circulation to that extremity. If you get any sort of bleed on an artery, somewhere on your leg or arm, you have minutes to live. An arterial bleed will take you out quick. So think about if you're on the water or you're out hunting, maybe you've hiked in a couple miles, you are not going to have time to either activate your emergency button on your GPS, make a phone call, or try to limp back to your car to get to a nearest hospital. You are just not going to have time. You are going to have time if you apply a tourniquet. There's plenty of videos demonstrating how to put them on. Quite simply, you just slide it on to the area that you need to cut off circulation to, you tighten it, wrap it around, and then just use this little lever here to tighten it in circles until essentially the circulation has been cut off of that extremity. If you properly apply a tourniquet, it is going to be excruciatingly painful. If you apply it to a friend, they should be wanting to punch you in the face because it hurts so badly. That's when you know you've properly applied it. What type of tourniquet do you get? Get the Cat brand tourniquet. It is the United States made and issued one. It is the only one that I trust. You can get some on Amazon and they are imitation. So make sure that it has the stamping that says the Cat application. It's the combat application tourniquet, and it has all this various text on it. Now there are some that have imitation to that as well. It should also have the plastic molding. And when you hold one in your hand, it just looks and feels authentic and genuine. I would imagine I haven't gotten one of the knockoff ones, but I have seen from reviews that they're almost immediately identifiable. So make sure that they are the correct one, because you should not be negotiating over a few dollars when it comes to your life. And that is exactly what this is. This is the lifesaver. Of all the other things that I have in my med bag, this is the only one that I know is actually going to save my life if I need it. Think about if, for instance, you're a guide. I know that you go through CPR training, at least in terms of the ones that I know here in Northern California. I don't know of anyone, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, leave a comment if you're one that carries one, but I don't know of any guides that carry tourniquets. And I know that being someone who's gone out and been a client of a guide, you sign a waiver saying that you accept the liability and risk of going out. However, as a guide, I know that sometimes you're spending 100, 150, 200 plus days on the water. I'm sure that you have stories of the ways in which you've seen disaster on the water and ways that maybe you've saved someone's life. And I think it's just the right thing to have one of these, know how to use it, so that if anything were to happen, you're prepared and you can give that someone a tomorrow. And think about just the lives that you could potentially impact just by having this small and simple thing. So this isn't a part of my first aid kit, but I always carry it on me, and this is my Multitool. This is the Leatherman Wave Plus. It is fantastic. I really enjoyed using it. But very important, you should have a multi-tool, especially if you're going out, especially if you have something like camera gear or something else that you just may need to do some sort of repair on. And then also just having a multi-tool in conjunction with first aid is really going to open up your ability to help yourself or others. So that's it. Pretty short one today. I really just kind of wanted to discuss my field bag, first aid, and especially tourniquets. Hopefully turn you on to the idea of them. But I really think that, especially if you're in the guiding industry or you own a shop, it really should be a discussion point that you have with your guides, your clients, your customers, and it really should just be something that is not something that is just kind of ignored. I want everyone to go out and enjoy the water. I think everyone deserves that, right? It's a pretty niche community, fly fishing. There's very few of us out there if you think about all the different hobbies that are out there. Think about that. I mean, I know there are times that we all go out and it seems like there's an endless herd of us, but there are times when I'm out there and I'm by myself, and there's probably times that that's been your experience as well. So have a plan, think about it, and prepare yourself so that if a really bad situation happens, you're going to be okay. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your friends and your family. I want to thank you for watching. I hope that this was beneficial. Maybe you learned something. I'd really like to know your thoughts. Am I just talking out my ass and essentially like the doomsday prepper of first aid? Or is there really some benefit to what I'm trying to bring forward today? And if you enjoyed it, let me know. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a lovely day.